Hi. Um, Sometimes I wish that I could have a thought or idea or inspiration, I guess, that is so profound that it completely changes my life. Um, and I was just thinking about that. And, I think it's almost, I don't know, I don't want to say instilled in us, but we watch all these movies and see all this content where it's like, I flipped a switch and I changed everything. Which, to an extent, is true because you do have to. I'm looking outside. You do have to decide to change and be willing to change. Um, and, make that decision like one day and be like, I'm going to change my life. Like, yes, I really hope I'm not covering my speaker too much. Yes, you have to make that choice, but it's not that easy. It's not, video montage and all of these things happening, because I feel like a lot of social media is that. And honestly, I love watching that content. Like, genuinely, I love, like, get my life together with me videos. Um, it's really inspiring, like, seeing a whole montage of, like, all this stuff, and it does make you want to do that. But real life, it's not like that. It's making a decision every day, and, you falling behind one day, you didn't work out that day, you didn't do the thing you wanted to do that day. I like how Jinx is just like, her foot is on my shoulder. But yeah, it's like quite literally one step at a time. And I'm sure some people have talked about that, but it's like not all at once. It takes time, and give it time, and try not to be too hard on yourself, because I think the real goal is just to take tiny steps every single day, and if all you can do that day is to stand in place, at least you're there, at least you showed up, you know. As much as we want to better ourselves and achieve things, I feel like we shouldn't degrade ourselves for, some days just not bettering yourself, not achieving the things that you want, because it's about trying, and it's about over time doing that. And just because you aren't perfect every single day doesn't mean that you're not putting in an effort, and I also do think it's great to record your progress, make a little montage. I love recording my progress, because when I look back on it, it's really, it's documenting life. I feel like it's a pretty big human thing. We like to document. We always have. There's always been people taking photographs and drawings to remember moments. And, as people, we just enjoy documenting life, I think trying to hold, onto that moment or whatever, and like, as a way to not forget, that's what I feel like a lot of artists and stuff, like all about like legacy, if you want to go into that. It's evidence that you existed and that you were here. And so like documenting your progress and stuff is evidence that you're trying, and especially because a lot of times you don't really see the progress unless you take a step back and look at it. I feel like I'm a pretty big person in the sense of like taking steps back. I'm constantly kind of looking at my life from an outside perspective, which can be a little because sometimes that means I'm not really living in the moment, but I will say it is helpful in the aspect of, You know, look how far you've come. And I feel like don't forget to acknowledge how far you've come. You know, don't forget to acknowledge, like, hey, like, this is what I wanted, you know, and even if you don't get there the way you expected, you still made it. And I'm a really big believer on anything that can be changed. Like, I mean, what's the best way to put this? Like, anything that can be achieved, you know, in life, like, say you want to be a millionaire. If there is something you can do about it to make that happen, I believe it is possible for anyone, for anything. If there's a certain job you want, or a certain hobby you want, or you want to work out and look skinny, or be super fit and muscular, or you want to be a great dancer, artist, or musician, or learn languages, anything that can be achieved through doing something, you can do it. If there is a way to do it, you can do it. If someone else can do it, you can do it, no matter what it is. And I have a huge belief system in that, which is kind of ironic because I really struggle with believing in myself as far as me being able to do stuff. But at the core, I've always believed that, you know, you can quite literally do anything. In my opinion, the only things that you can't really do is, you know, things that can't be manipulated or changed. Like, you can't make somebody care about you. You can't make somebody be the right person for you. You can't, you know, make someone love you, make someone see your worth. You can't, I guess maybe it's mostly a people thing. Like, if it's a person versus an object, you know, you can't change the way somebody treats you. You can choose to not accept it. You can choose to leave that situation, and you can choose to better yourself and better your life, you know, in the sense of getting out of that and being around more people that treat you the way that you should be. But you quite literally can do and be absolutely anything. It just takes time, and it takes, you know, you deciding that you're done being that broken version of you. You're done, you know, living the life that you currently are. It might not necessarily be broken. Some people have a great job on the outside and have great friends on the outside and, you know, live in a really nice house and have great income. Oh my God, she's like snoring. Her foot is literally in my hair. But yeah, like, you don't necessarily have to be broken or be a bad version of yourself to want to change and want to better yourself. You know, if you're not happy where you are, you know, the saying, you're not a tree, you can move, you know, and just also being delicate with ourselves, you know, and kind of acknowledging that realistically it does take time and effort and energy, and not every day is going to be the same. You're not going to have the same energy every single day to pursue things, you know. But I feel like that's another point. I feel like that's a big reason why people really like underdogs in movies and TV shows and whatever, because, you know, not necessarily every time the underdog succeeds, but a lot of times they do, right? And the sole reason they actually achieve what they want, or actually make it to that finish line, or, you know, win, or whatever the concept is because they keep trying, you know, they're resilient. And personally, I feel like I'm resilient at a fault, because I'm not gonna lie, it sucks being resilient. It sucks getting shoved to the ground and getting back up, because it's hard to get back up. It's hard to be shoved to the ground. It's hard to go through shit, you know? I really did not mean to cuss, but I will try not to do that in the future. But yeah, it just sucks, you know? So being resilient, it's not necessarily fun, but it is what keeps you alive. I mean, being resilient in your dreams and your goals and your life, you know, it keeps you moving. And quite literally, you have to move to survive. You have to keep going, because ultimately, you know, yes, you can choose to stay stuck. You can sit. I'm going to finish this idea and then end the video because I've been yapping. But yes, you can choose to be comfortable and to stay where you are in life. And you can be content with that, okay? But are you happy? You know? And I'm not saying that, like, just because you have a good job and just because you have that family and you're not trying to achieve more, that means you haven't achieved enough, because that's not true. If that is what you need to be happy, if that was your finish line, live your life. You know, you did it and you're here and you're growing and you're good. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you are in the same routine, in the same place that you were 6 years ago, you know, move forward. Do something about it. If you don't like it, do something about it. Anyways, I'm gonna go because I try not to yap too much. This is Jinx. She says to like my video and subscribe. Thank you very much. I will see you guys next week.